Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for a Christmas craft in this video from the Northern Ireland War Memorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make these mini Christmas wreaths, which you can use to show off your tiniest toys and treasures. I've been inspired by this lovely brooch from the museum's collections, which is actually a beautifully decorated curtain ring. During World War II, there were lots of shortages and restrictions that meant toys and decorations weren't so easy or affordable to find in the shops. But don't worry, Christmas wasn't ruined. Lots of creative and crafty parents handmade gifts for their children, like these great wooden vehicles, which are also part of the museum's collection. This photograph shows a member of the Navy's home fleet making woolen dogs to give as Christmas presents on the deck of his ship. And in this picture we see a Royal Marine bandsman carefully crafting a miniature cinema organ. Wouldn't that be amazing to have in your doll's house? This tractor trailer was made as a Christmas present by a lady in the Women's Land Army as a gift for her younger brother. And here is another beautiful example of a handmade brooch, just like the ones we are going to make in this video, which would have been such a special thing to receive as a present. Here's what you'll need to make your mini wreath brooch. We're going to be using a toilet roll tube and a cereal box or some other type of thin card, and you'll need some scissors for those. We need PVA glue, that's the runny white one, and some wool, which can be in any colour, it doesn't have to be green. And you'll also need a needle. You'll also need to gather up your tiny treasures to display in your brooch. Things like buttons, Lego, Playmobil and Kinder Egg toys, beads, broken jewellery, or maybe you have some little nature items like shells or seed pods. It can be any tiny things that you find interesting. Brooches like this one were made around a metal or wooden curtain ring, but most of us probably don't have one of those at home, so today we're going to use a toilet roll tube. To start off with, squash your toilet roll tube so it's easy to cut, and we're going to cut a piece off of it that is about 2 centimetres wide. So we've got something like this. Next, we're going to flatten it. So I'm bending the edges in towards the center just to flatten it a little bit. It's going to look a little bit messy to start off with, but after we cover this in wool, it'll look really lovely. Okay, so it looks like this whenever it's done. And you can even just set it down on the table and press it a little bit to flatten it out. Okay, next we're going to wrap the wool around it. I've got a really long piece of wool, it's probably about 1.5 meters long. And we're just going to be wrapping it all around the ring to cover up the cardboard. So first we're just going to tie it on. And then you're going to start bringing it in through the middle of the toilet roll tube and wrapping it over the edge, back through the middle, and wrap, wrap, wrap until you've got all the way around and you can't see any more of that brown cardboard peeking through. Okay, my ring of cardboard has been completely wrapped in wool and I'm stopping when I've got about 10 or 15 centimetres of wool left. And I'm going to use the needle now to get this tail tucked in so that it won't unravel. You'll need a needle with a really big eye on the end, like a darning needle. You might need to get a grown-up to help you with this bit. And we just need to pass the needle underneath some of the wrapped wool and go along about 2 centimetres and pull it out. And then we can trim off the excess. Okay, this is what we're left with, and that wool shouldn't unravel. If there's still some lumpy bumpy bits, you can just give it a bit of a squeeze until it's looking really nice and circular and round. I think that looks really good now. At this point you could just glue on some buttons and pipe cleaners to make a little Christmas wreath, but I want to make mine more personal with some of my collections of cute tiny things. Next we're going to make a backing for your wreath so that you've got something to stick a safety pin on and you can wear it, but also this will make it safer to keep your tiny treasures safe. To do this, I'm going to put my little wreath onto my cardboard box and draw around it. And then I need to cut that circle out. Here I'm using the PVA to make a circle of glue around my card backing. Okay, I've drawn a circle of glue so I can pop my little wreath down on top. And now we're ready for the fun part, which is decorating with beads or buttons or any of your little tiny toys and treasures. I've glued a little bit of cotton wool inside my wreath to make it cozy looking for the little teddy toy. And as you can see, I'm just using some good big splodges of the PVA so that my toys and buttons will be firmly held in place when that dries. If you want to add a tiny bow like mine, just tie a knot in some wool and trim the excess quite closely on either side. Here's some more ideas for you. These brooches are the perfect size for a Lego figure. And here's one for a make, do and mend fan. I've made a tiny spool of thread by wrapping wool around a little snippet of cardboard. You just need to attach a safety pin to the bag with some sticky tape. So now your tiny treasures brooch is ready to wear. I hope you enjoyed making that, and look out for the rest of the videos in this series of Christmas crafts from the Northern Ireland War Memorial.